Now, let's come back to Nigeria. Are we going to call that sham that happened in February 23rd and 25th an election? That sham, that disgrace, that embarrassment, is that what we call an election? Is that what we call democracy? Is that what we call democracy when currently people who has been found wanting, who our judiciary have not been able to send to jail, currently coming back to become Senate president? Or have we forgotten the case of Off Your Mic? What is wrong with Africans? What is wrong with Nigerians? Have we forgotten the case so soon of Off Your Mic? The forensic audit in NDDC, who the current Senate president then was Minister of NDDC and could not account for funds that went under him. Was it the same? Is that not the same president of Senate who accused Senate of being part of the corruption going on in NDDC? As we speak, nobody has gone to jail. As we speak, the judiciary has not been able to do anything about it, although nobody took anybody to court because, of course, if you do that, it was going to be a waste of time and energy and resources. Is it not this country when people finish looting the system, they get bigger positions? Is it not Nigeria? Is that what we call democracy? Now, they are quick. They are quick now to say that there is no democracy in Niger. Have you witnessed elections in Niger? International observers, what do they say? Is that the democracy they practice in America? Is that the democracy they practice in France? Is that the democracy they practice here in England? Then people come and talk about a democratically elected president. In case we don't know, they told us back then in secondary school that democracy, if the government is the government of the people, by the people and for the people. As we speak today, how many countries in Africa has their democratic election represented the will of the majority of the people in Africa? How many? How many sanctions has ECOWAS placed on areas where elections were fraudulent, were sham, were embarrassing? How many? Anything that the West tells us is correct, and anything they say is bad, is bad. Now we are quarreling concerning military takeover. How did they throw away Mugabe from office? How did the West do that? Was it not through military? Was it not through military they removed Mugabe from office and brought in the puppet they wanted? They stylishly told the guy, okay, don't take over power. You just hold on to power and bring in some, forced Mugabe to resign, put him on perpetual stress mentally to resign. For me, I am not in support of the sit-tight power syndrome of African leaders. But again, we should first of all look at it. What works for us? What works for us? Yes, democracy. We have parliamentary democracy. We have different type of democracy. Has Africa sat down to actually sit down to think what form of democracy will work for us? Is it a democratic system of government where these institutions are so weak in such a manner that there are certain elements in the country called Nigeria today who is obviously bigger than the system? Are you talking about a democratic system of government where somebody like Mahmoud, the current INEC chairman in Nigeria, still have the temerity and the propensity out of shame to still perpetuate himself in office? If it were to be places like America and Britain and France, by now somebody would have resigned honorably, shamefully. Is that what we call democracy? Where Mahmoud went to Chatham House, came into Chatham House and told the world that election is going to be transmitted in real time. Later came back to swindle himself and started talking about he didn't say so. And he forgot that there were avalanche and series of videos where he perpetually reiterated that elections will be transmitted real time. So if we are talking about democratically elected presidents, we are talking about an election where somebody like MC Oluomo didn't come to threaten people, to threaten a particular ethnic group who he believed were not going to support his candidate. We are talking about that kind of democracy where voters' cards of certain people were not dumped in the gutter to ensure that the election reflects a particular direction. That's what we are talking